responsible for running around making these babies? Are we equal? Now, from a woman's
Women.
standpoint, it's women's fault. Tell me why. Tell us why.
It's a woman's fault because the woman, the woman have the baby. So a woman shouldn't have a baby with nobody she knows she not gonna be with forever. So I blame women.
Dre?
Period. I could be irresponsible as I want to be in these streets. At the end of the day, if you know I'm not gonna be with you, if you know that we just turned up and had a good time, we shouldn't be having no kids together. Straight like that.
But what about
So,
but did you protect yourself or do you any responsibility for not?
I did in some occasions, and I didn't in some occasions, and I will be honest about that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me personally. I know I probably sound like an asshole.
No, let's go
To me
there.
personally,
Yeah.
I still say, even if I did, it should be on the woman to make sure she ain't having kids with people that she ain't gonna be with forever. Because at the end of the day, who is it gonna affect the most, the man or the woman, or the child? You know, you gonna have to sit there with that child and explain why daddy ain't here. Tell him, don't just tell him that he ain't here and he ain't a good daddy. Tell him that you was never with daddy. You know, tell him that you and daddy was never in love. You know,
But are you
had a
attaching?
baby on some random? I don't know what it was, but let's keep it real.
But are you
Simply
attaching?
keep it real.
Are you attaching love? Are you attaching being in love with the responsibility of a child?
I feel like if you got a child, you got to take care of your child. Period. If it's here, but I'm just saying you should have children with people you in love with, who you want to be with forever. That's just my opinion.
And a lot of the times men like to do that to dodge accountability. Okay, we both came together as two adults. Regardless if you were using me for convenience or not, then you made a f***ed up decision. Then you were being irresponsible. Absolutely.
If I was honest from the gate, did I?
Oh, absolutely. Why? Because now you're tied in to a baby with me, but you didn't want to be with me. You wanted to have sex with me for your pleasure, but you didn't want to create a child, but you did. So you're irresponsible. And that's a lot of the times when we hear men talk about, well, she put me through child support and I'm in court. That's your fault. Just like you want to sit up here and point at women and say, well, this is the reason you a single mom because you picked the wrong guy. Well, you picked the wrong woman then. You picked the wrong woman to procreate with. Absolutely, that's irresponsible as and how it's dodging accountability is, I knew I wasn't wanting a baby with you in the first place, but you decided to have it with me because you was in love with me, shawty. No, that's dodging accountability. It's two adults that decided to have a child together and it didn't work. So a woman leaving that situation isn't selfish, it's smart as absolutely.
Are we nearing the end of casual sex culture? Don't get me wrong. I don't mean like there's going to be a day where everybody's going to wait until marriage. I don't mean that because, come on now, that never exists. It's never going to exist. What I'm saying is, are we on a pace where we're going to return back to a more traditional type of situation that we had, in generations past? Because right now in the culture, hey, it's whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, however you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it. And you grown, ain't nothing wrong with it. And if you got a kid over here and a kid over there and this kid and that kid, it don't even matter. It don't matter. There's no shame. There's no nothing. I think that we're headed back to a more traditional path. And I say that for many reasons. But number one are the clips that you just saw. See, with casual sex culture, we don't talk about the dark side of it. We don't talk about the consequences of it. And one of the biggest consequences that we see going on right now is that it has become regular to engage in sexual activities with people that you don't know and don't care about. Recklessly, without using protection. And so what you're seeing is, you're seeing men having sex with a woman that they don't care about, recklessly. And so then it's like, okay, well, you're on your own to raise the child. The child is not my fault. Men, it's gotten so bad that men don't even want to take responsibility for the situation. You knew I didn't want you. You knew I didn't want to marry you. You knew I didn't love you. You knew I didn't want to be with you. We wasn't trying to do. And then on the other side, you got the woman. You didn't love me. You just wanted to have sex with me. So what we have now are two people feuding with each other with a child in the middle. And so both of them are either going to hurt the child or use the child to hurt the other person. So it's either, I don't want you to have my baby, so I want you to kill the child before it's even born. Or the child is born and I don't love you and I don't want the responsibility, so I'm going to neglect and abandon the child. Or you're not doing what I want you to do or being who I want you to be, so I'm going to have this child knowing that you're not going to be good to it just to spite you. Or I know that you want to be the part of the child's life, but you don't want me, so I'm going to keep you from the child just to spite you. Either way, you have two sides that are trying to hurt the child, all because they did something that they had no business doing with somebody they had no business doing it with. And nobody wants to take responsibility. The woman is saying it's your fault because you're the one that came in me and da-da-da-da-da, and you're the man. And now the sad part is we got men. Oh, it's not my fault. She knew I didn't love me. She knew we was just having fun. We was just turning up and da-da-da-da-da. This is the de-evolution of casual sex culture. Everybody wants to have all the benefits. Nobody wants any parts of the responsibility. And you don't even care about who you're doing the deed with or the results that come from the deed. And that's what we don't talk about. We don't talk about how many people out here are walking around with herpes. Trust me, there's a good portion of people out here moving around with herpes. Because that's something that you can be walking around not showing any symptoms, not having any flare-ups. You can look perfectly normal. People don't even know. If we're going to keep it real in Black America, there's a good portion of people who got herpes from someone who knew they had herpes, but did not tell the person until after the fact. Let them do all this stuff with them and then told them. Let's keep it real. But another reason why casual sex culture will probably fall eventually is we got to keep it all the way real. And that's something that we're not doing. If we're going to keep it all the way real when it comes to casual sex culture, most people not even having fun like that. Like, just keep it all the way real. Like, I can see if you got a roster of super attractive people that are good at pleasing you and they're available when you want them to be available. And anytime you want a little companionship or conversation, they give you that too. If you need help with a bill or something, they help. No, that's not what's going on. Not at all. A lot of you're not even having fun like that in the casual sex game. You get with people who can't help you or don't want to help you. You're dealing with people that you know you shouldn't even be around. Sometimes the sex not even good like that. A lot of times you feel embarrassed and ashamed after the fact. You feel nervous and scared after the fact. Every time you got an itch or a scratch or a cough, you're looking at yourself in the mirror like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have did that. Let's keep it real. Some of you done had so much sex that the act of sex don't even feel good like that. That's why you got to have sex for 2 and 3 hours, and you got to hold the leg like this and have this angle and spit over here and you put your hand right there and use the toy and use this. You got to do all these things to get off because the sensation is gone because you've just been using it too much. You're not even having fun like that. I listen to music and stuff like that. People talk about getting in it for 2 hours and 3. Listen, there's nothing wrong with having multiple rounds, having a nice session. But let me tell you something. When you're in a happy relationship and you have a happy sex life with one person, listen, I promise you, it don't take no 2 hours to get yours off. Y'all got y'all rhythm going. Y'all in tune with one another. Y'all can both get off in a half an hour. Both of y'all. Climax. Feeling good. Seriously. like all this 2 and 3 hours and I was giving head for an hour. Listen, man. You in a relationship with a woman and y'all got a healthy situation going on, it don't take no hour for her to give you no head. It really don't. I don't want to get explicit, but I'm just saying it don't take an hour. A lot of you are desensitized because you're having so much random encounters with random people that you don't even have a connection to. And you got to concentrate super hard and they got to do all these crazy things just for you to kind of get a sensation. You're not even having fun like that. So that's why, look, eventually the casual sex thing is going to come to an end. I just named you a few reasons right there. Disease, number one. Number two, you got a bunch of people who want to put the responsibility of what comes with the sex on the other person, which is the child. You got men putting it on women. You got women putting it on men. I couldn't believe I'm hearing grown men saying that it ain't their fault. It's this one, ladies. I'm sorry, but ladies, there is no way on earth you should be having sex with a man who don't think it's his responsibility to not get you pregnant. Like, I'm sorry, if the man thinks it's your responsibility for you to like, seriously, come on now. If you don't even think, if he don't even want to claim that responsibility on his own, there's no way you think he's going to claim the responsibility of taking care of you or a child on his own. Come on now. I understand you're free and you're sexually liberated, but listen, man, if you giving your body to a man and if you were stuck on the side of the road 12 o'clock at night, you can't call him, you're a fool. I understand you're grown, you're having your fun, but listen, you are stranded on the side of the road. It's dark outside. You need some help. And the man that you just did all that stuff in the bedroom with, you can't call him. You're silly. You're silly. It don't make no sense. Or even with the fellas, you done did all this stuff with this woman in this room. And you don't even trust that she's only doing it with you. She getting pregnant and you want to get a test? Listen, if you really feel like she getting it in like that, why are you doing what you doing with her all wild and unprotected? It doesn't make any logical sense. You want child support? You getting alienated from the child? It's all this drama. So you mean you did all this stuff in the bedroom without first figuring out what this woman's character was? Like, you're a fool. I know you grown. I know she grown, and you can do what you want to do. It's 2024. We don't do that Christian stuff. Okay, but that don't change from the fact that you're a fool. Doing what you're doing is foolish. I ain't even getting into how you getting tied up in all these sad, depressing situations where people are stalking you and putting hands on you and ruining your life and messing up your mental health. Next thing you know, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're fat, you're losing your job, you done lost your vision, your skin is terrible, your reputation is ruined. Y'all, we don't talk about that. Y'all leave that part out. How you messed around and had a baby with this dude and he don't really want to be with you, but he don't want you to be with nobody else. And so anytime he see you doing something with somebody else, he start acting crazy and you going to the court getting restraining orders and he putting devices in your car to track where you're going. And in order for him to pick up the child, you got to meet him somewhere in a public place because you don't even trust the dude that you had a kid with. You got to do the child exchange out in the open in the middle of the day at a busy Target because you don't even trust the person you had a kid with. Like, really? That's the craziest part about this whole casual sex thing. It's like, you're not even, like, you know, the word says, what profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? But a lot of y'all not even gaining the world. You're not even having fun like that. You're not even getting money like that. What you're doing is causing you more grief than anything, and you still doing it that way. For what? You're not even getting nothing out of it. You don't have the family life. You don't have the love life that you want. You're not even feeling that good during the sex. And you got all the stress and drama. What is the point? Seriously, what is the point? You're not even having your way out here. It don't make no sense. Makes no sense at all. You got a kid with somebody. Y'all got to talk to each other through an app that's regulated by the court. Like, what's wrong? Y'all going back and forth to court, custody hearing. Oh, okay, let's do supervised visitation. Then let's do weekends. Then let's do every other week. Like, come on, man. arguing with their siblings on Facebook and Instagram, and they stalking your page, and like, what? That's man, really? I'm trying to tell you, man, y'all, this society y'all don't talk about. Y'all talk about how, oh man, y'all having so much fun. Let's keep it real, man. Y'all not having fun like that. But see, that's the trick of the enemy. That's the trick of the enemy. Make you think that dysfunction and stress and drama and broken families, oh man, that's so much fun. I'm having so much fun. Oh, that toxic relationship, that was so much fun. But a healthy marriage, where y'all got a routine, and oh, that's boring. I can't do that. That's boring. Being married, that's like a slave. That's boring. He done convinced you that all this trauma and stress and pain and anger and sadness, oh, that's fun. Healthy, functional relationships, oh, that's boring, man. He running game on y'all, man.